Y'all, we just made a video that has everything you need to know about EPCOT food. So we're talking breakfasts, quick service, the most viral snacks that your kids won't want to skip, that you won't want to skip because you want to put them on your Instagram, and more. Today on DFB Guide. Hey everybody, it's AJ for Disney Food Blog. Now, while EPCOT has a lot of great rides and shows and shops to explore, one of the best parts about this park is its vast amount of food and beverages. And today's ultimate guide is going to make sure that whatever you eat or drink around EPCOT is going to be worth your money, your time, and your stomach space. We're going to start with the best cheap snacks. If you're looking for the best snacks to grab around EPCOT that won't break the $10 mark, then I've got some really exciting news for you. Lots of our favorite EPCOT snacks just so happen to be some of the least expensive you're going to find in the park, which is a win-win for all of us. So here's a rapid-fire list of our current favorites, some of which won't even break the $5 mark. Starting at Sunshine Seasons in the Land Pavilion, you can find the peanut butter whoopie pie for $4.49. This is light, fluffy, decadent. I love it personally because, I'm a peanut butter monster. Caramel Makusha inside the Germany Pavilion has lots of caramel for all you triple syllable folks out there. Treats we'd highly recommend. But one of my regular and classic favorites is the salted caramel cupcake for $6.49. Nobody talks about this anymore. Cupcakes are passé and boring, but this thing is like the densest brownie cake you've ever had, and just a light and buttery and salty, fabulous butterscotchy salted caramel on top. I absolutely love this, and I don't know why nobody's talking about it. It's great. Now, also inside the Germany Pavilion, you can grab the pretzel bread pudding from Summerfest for $4.79. This one's soft, creamy, slightly sweet and salty, and then hopefully you get enough of that topping, like the caramel and the vanilla on top. If you don't, I apologize, I'm sorry, but I sometimes ask for a little bit more. Okay, so now to give you something savory to think about, the traditional poutine served at Refreshment Port typically costs around $7.50. This is salty and chewy cheese curds, those squeaky ones, heavy on the gravy, which of course is a requirement for poutine. And I love that it's only $7.50. This is a meal in and of itself. There's the $7 maple popcorn from the Canada Popcorn Cart. This has been a classic DFB favorite for a long time. And now, if you want to spend $7 on a treat but not weigh yourself down, this is a good option. Admittedly, some of my favorite treats from L'Artisan de Glace in the France Pavilion are a little above the $10 mark, including the brioche pressed ice cream sandwich and the ice cream martini, but you can still get a decadent ice cream scoop of your favorite flavor choice for $7.95, or you can get an ice cream macaron sandwich for $8.95. And the new pretzel nuggets with beer cheese from Block & Hans in the American Adventure Pavilion have quickly captured our attention as another strong, savory snack contender for $8.50. So think Auntie Anne's pretzels, but with, I guess, a stronger almost bite from that beer cheese. Oh, and let's not forget, never forget, Club Cool over in World Celebration, which features several international sodas that you can sample for free. How's that for an under $10 EPCOT treat? You won't even have to break out the wallet for this one. So, I've talked about all these snacks and their locations and what have you, but if you're anything like me, these may go in one ear and out the other. And all of a sudden, you're going to find yourself in EPCOT and going, wait, what was that pudding thing that AJ talked about again? Or where was that peanut butter thing located? It's okay. We've come up with a solution to help jog your memory, and I think you're really going to like it. Introducing our brand new DFB snack wallpapers. All you got to do is scan the QR code you see on the screen now, or head to disneyfoodblog.com/under10 after this. And we'll send you a list of our free wallpapers to put on your phone's home screen, showing you all the best snacks under $10, not just in EPCOT, but throughout all the other Disney parks too. That way you don't have to waste a whole lot of your phone's precious battery life going back and scrolling to find these. They're just going to be right there on your lock screen. Okay, breakfast, the mystery of EPCOT. That is the subtitle of this next part of our video. We're going to hit you with a lot of head-scratching truths about EPCOT dining today, but I feel like breakfast is a good place to start unraveling the puzzling food-based mysteries in this park. So let's rise and shine and figure out what on earth is going on with morning food in EPCOT. While this park is a hub for a lot of good food, it's surprisingly tricky to find breakfast options in this park if you don't know where to look. Part of the reason for that is because the dining hours for many EPCOT restaurants, specifically over in World Showcase, can feel a little bit secretive. What I mean by that is, while the World Showcase doesn't technically open until 11 a.m., there are still a handful of World Showcase restaurants that'll open when the park does, at 9 a.m. So if you're not planning on just munching on something real quick before you head over to EPCOT because you want a heartier breakfast once you're inside the park, here's the DL of the best places to look for morning grub right when the park opens, if not earlier. So let's start outside of World Showcase. I know they've got like World Discovery and World Nature and all of those. It's all just Future World to me still, I'll be totally honest with you. So we're going to say outside of World Showcase, all of these other worlds, this is where you can get breakfast. Okay, Connections Cafe in World Celebration is Epcot's main Starbucks supplier. It has all the standard Starbucks fixins. Now, this place is wildly packed at the start of the day. I don't know why. Go ride rides, people. But no, they go here and they get coffee. And it has no mobile order whatsoever. So if you're wanting to get somewhere fast in Epcot right after rope drop, I wouldn't suggest Connections as your first morning choice, and maybe not even as your second morning choice either. If you've got time to kill in the morning and you don't mind taking things slow and steady for a nice sit-down meal, you can make reservations at Garden Grill, which is located on the second floor of the Land Pavilion. Garden Grill is a character dining experience that takes place in a slowly rotating restaurant, which I love. It just sounds zen, doesn't it? Now, for lunch and dinner, you can chow down on family-style servings of classic comfort eats like roasted turkey, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese. But during breakfast, you're going to get unlimited portions of classic morning munches like Mickey waffles, pastries, skillet potatoes, scrambled eggs, and the more unique backyard grilled steak with Farmer's Ranchero sauce. Okay. Now, the cool thing about dining at Garden Grill is that this restaurant technically opens at 8:30 a.m., so you could start chowing down before the park opens for everyone if you make reservations for the very beginning of the day. On the bottom floor of the Land Pavilion, you're not going to find much at the Sunshine Seasons food court, even though it's got a lot of stuff for lunch. But you're still going to be able to pick up a speedy breakfast sandwich here or one of the various pastries in the bakery display case, including a pretty tasty house-made chocolate banana loaf and also the aforementioned peanut butter whoopie pie. If, breakfast, right? Okay. Now, inside World Showcase, this is where all the secret, hidden, fab, magab, Epcot breakfasts are, okay? We're going to start at Akershus Royal Banquet Hall in the Norway Pavilion. This is a fun table service option for those who want to eat family-style breakfast skillets while meeting a whole bunch of Disney princesses, as one does. During lunch and dinner, the all-you-care-to-enjoy spread features more Norwegian-focused entrees and sides, but breakfast is going to have a lot more classic offerings, which is why it tends to be a cheaper reservation option for Akershus as well. And it could suit your family just fine to have a little bit more recognizable stuff on the menu and meet all those princesses all before you start your Epcot day. Breakfast starts up at 8:30 here as well. So even if you're not using early theme park entry that day, which lets Disney hotel guests enter the parks 30 minutes before everyone else, you'll still be able to enter Epcot early if you've got an early morning breakfast reservation at one of these spots. Now, La Crêperie de Paris does not open at 8:30 a.m., but it still opens right when the park does to give guests a unique spread of galettes and crepes for their morning meal. La Crêperie's attached to go window, Crêpes à Emporter, also opens right at 9 a.m., so if you're looking for a speedier crepe option, that's the place for you. We'll talk more about these fast food windows later on because there's more where that came from. Keeping inside the France Pavilion, one of our favorite places to grab a morning bite is over at Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie for its extensive variety of pastries, quiches, coffees, mimosas, and more. Just be warned, this place also gets pretty packed in the morning and has very limited seating, but it will open up for guests who are there during early theme park entry if you want to get a head start. Now, if you don't want to start your day in Epcot with a very, very long line that isn't even going to get you onto a ride, then I would say pop into the back of the France Pavilion and go to those crepe spots, right? That's a great place to grab breakfast, and then you hit up Remy's Ratatouille Adventure right after that. Strategy. Okay. Another one of our favorite breakfast stops that's a bit more underrated is Kringla Bakery Og Cafe, which is also in the Norway Pavilion. All day long, you're going to be able to pick up Norwegian pastries here that are good for breakfast or just as a nice afternoon snack. But if you're on the hunt for some unique coffee options, Kringla Bakery has a frozen Viking coffee made with Bailey's Irish Cream liqueur and Kimura coffee liqueur, as well as coffee chocolate sauce and coffee chocolate crunch. And if you don't want to start your day off boozy, you can always order the Christoph Cafe instead for the non-alcoholic version of this. Speaking of coffee, EPCOT is home to five different Joffrey's kiosks, and each one tends to have the typical coffees, teas, and donut treats like you'd find at other locations around property. But the special thing about EPCOT's Joffrey's kiosks is that they often serve one or two specialty seasonal drinks that'll vary depending on the kiosk you're at. Joffrey's kiosk can be found at the park entrance right outside the gate, in front of Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, at the World Showcase Promenade leading into the World Showcase, that's the one that usually has all the bees, and between the UK and Canada Pavilion, and over at the American Adventure Pavilion. Okay, well, this whole video is basically leading up to this section anyway, so it's time to start talking about one of my favorite EPCOT topics, the festivals. So throughout the year, EPCOT has 4 festivals you could potentially experience. Festival of the Arts, which of course we call FARTS, Flower and Garden, International Food and Wine, and Festival of the Holidays. And along with the theming, these festivals all center around musical performances and exclusive activities, limited time merchandise, and my personal favorite part, pop-up food booths serving tapas-sized eats. With each new festival, the DFB team and I release an updated version of our DFB festival guides, which you can find over at dfbstore.com. These guides serve as reliable digital companions to help make sure you don't miss out on any of those EPCOT Fest must-dos. We also release festival videos a few days after the fest begins, going over a few of our personal favorite highlights from the different food booths. We call that Best of the Fest. But for now, I'm going to take the time to answer a few of the most frequent questions we get regarding those EPCOT festivals, so you don't have to go searching for answers anywhere else. First, when do festivals happen? Well, these festivals happen frequently throughout the year, but they tend to hibernate in the middle of the summer. You'll want to check on the Disney World website before your trip to see if your visit will align with one of the 4 festivals. Most of the time it will, again, unless you're in the middle of the summer, like the dead middle of the summer. When do the festival booths open? Well, festival booths typically open when the World Showcase does, around 11 a.m. So if you get to the park when it first opens at 9, then you'll need to kill some time elsewhere. But believe me, those 2 hours will go by way too quickly, especially if you decide to hit up some of the rides first thing and then spend the afternoon eating around the festival. Okay, when's the best time to visit? The very first day and the very last day of a festival are the most crowded times to visit. Weekends can also get pretty packed, but the middle of the festivals, in the middle of the week, Monday through Thursday, turns out to be a nice sweet spot with fewer crowds. How much should you budget for food? Food items on average range between $4 and $10, with alcoholic beverages costing a little more, like around $11 plus. Since the food options all come on smaller sized plates, you'll probably want to grab 3 to 4 items if you're planning on making these items into a whole meal, that is. Otherwise, you can grab a couple of items to snack on throughout the day and call it good. You can also often use the Disney Dining Plan snack credits on festival foods. This is probably the best use of Disney Dining Plan snack credits across the board. And if you're planning on using the DDP during your vacation, just look for this Disney Dining Plan symbol to see if the snack is credit eligible. Every EPCOT festival features a concert series that's unique to that festival's specific theme. You can watch them for free over at the America Gardens Outdoor Theater at the American Adventure Pavilion. Now the catch, each show has first come, first served seating, and while some shows might be easier to walk in and find a seat for up to the last second, others, like the famous Candlelight Processional during Festival of the Holidays, will start forming a line hours before the show begins, meaning last-minute seating really isn't an option. To guarantee a seat for one of these popular performances without potentially having to use hours of your park day waiting in line for it, the concert series dining packages at participating EPCOT restaurants are going to give you a nice meal along with guaranteed priority seating for an evening festival show on the same date. Prices do vary depending on which restaurant you book, but there'll be some days when Regal Eagle Smokehouse, which is that quick service over in the American Adventure Pavilion, will offer a limited, very limited amount of first come, first served dining packages, which you can only pick up in person and on the day of the concert. This will usually be your cheapest concert package option, right around $39 per adult, but it's also your biggest gamble, so you might want to stick with the pricier dining options just to guarantee your concert package before your visit. All right, anything else you need to bring? An EPCOT festival happens rain or shine, so keep an umbrella and poncho in your bag just like you would for any other park and any other day. Side note though, during particularly stormy times, food booths will have to close until the bulk of the rain passes. Another thing to mention, balancing multiple food items can be tricky, so I always bring a food tray. You can get them super cheap, like $2 at restaurant supply stores and stuff. You can bring one from home. We're just talking like a cafeteria food tray, something small that fits in your backpack. You can check out these ones on Amazon. They're like $5. Okay, so where is the fast food around here? EPCOT's got lots of table service restaurants to choose from, like a lot. But where are the quick services hiding out for faster, cheaper, still reliable and hearty options, especially for the picky eaters in your party? Here are the 5 EPCOT quick services you can count on. Connections Eatery is in the same building as Connections Cafe, so before or after you swing by to grab your Starbies, you can jump over to the other side of the dining room to order the more substantial stuff like pizza, chicken, burgers, gourmet liege waffles. I mentioned Sunshine Seasons earlier when talking about breakfast, but where Sunshine Seasons really shines is lunch. The food court setup has multiple offerings to choose from with unique and picky eater-friendly options alike. My favorite thing to get here is forever and always the pepperoni pizza rolls, and sadly, they just took them off the menu. So, yeah, we're gonna have to find something new at Sunshine Seasons. Please send me your recs in the comments. But forewarning, Sunshine Seasons does not serve dinner. At least not right now it doesn't. Who knows, maybe things will change. Beginning at 4 p.m. though, the lunch offerings go away and all you'll be left with are the snacky grab and go things. But if you're looking for something simple and light in the evening, those might still work for you. La Cantina de San Angel over in the Mexico Pavilion is right next door to the main La Hacienda de San Angel table service. And this is where you're going to want to go to get tacos and other Mexican-inspired dishes. But don't worry, there are also chicken tenders and mac and cheese on the menu if your kid prefers that instead, or if you do. The seating for La Cantina is all outdoors, but it is covered. However, if you're looking for a place to sit with a little more AC, sometimes La Cantina opens up a section of seating inside La Hacienda before the restaurant opens up at 4 p.m. to accommodate with the La Cantina lunch rush. On a similar note, the Yorkshire County Fish Shop inside the UK Pavilion is just next door to the Rose and Crown dining room and offers delicious grab-and-go fish and chips for a much cheaper price point than the main restaurant. If you want to enjoy some AC along with your fish and chips, you can actually go inside the Rose and Crown dining room to eat lunch if you'd like to. The restaurant typically allows guests inside the dining room before they need to get ready for the dinner service, which starts at 4. Regal Eagle Smokehouse is a consistent winner in our books. You can find this quick service inside the American Adventure Pavilion, serving up barbecue and burgers and the like. And there's also a little outdoor bar where you can pick up a specialty beverage to go along with your meal, like the non-alcoholic berry sparkler made with white grape juice, strawberry, peach, blackberry, and soda water, or the alcoholic frozen mint juleps and Tennessee lemonade made with whiskey, lemonade, and peach. The China Pavilion and the Japan Pavilion also have quick services available. The Lotus Blossom in China and Katsura Grill in Japan. Lotus Blossom is going to have your standard spread of Chinese takeout options, while Katsura Grill has Japanese entrees like standard sushi, udon, teriyaki bowls. Katsura is fun to eat at just for the peaceful outdoor setting around a Japanese stroll garden too. Lots of people don't even know what's up there, so you're kind of a Disney expert if you do. And of course, you can't go forgetting about Les Halles Boulangerie Patisserie in France. Sure, it's a great place to pick up breakfast, but this little quick service has so much more to offer beyond morning grub, including sandwiches and soups, specialty desserts, and more. Just keep in mind that seating is limited on the inside, so you'll very likely have to take your items on the go and find nearby outdoor seating elsewhere. EPCOT's got a variety of great sit-down restaurants to choose from, but sometimes those restaurants book up. Or sometimes you'd rather focus more on the drinks of a certain pavilion versus any heavy entrees, meaning you'd rather not book an entire table service reservation if you can avoid it. That's where EPCOT's lounges and bars come into play. Now, EPCOT's got several lounges and bars that you can check out on a first-come, first-served basis, no reservations needed. So I've gathered up all the ones you need to know about before you hit up EPCOT, just so you can familiarize yourself with your lounging options ahead of time. First, the World Showcase favorites. Let's start with what's probably my favorite lounge in all of EPCOT. That's La Cava del Tequila inside the Mexico Pavilion. This is a rich and warm, cozy, cave-like setting featuring 200 tequilas and unique margaritas and chips and queso. Don't forget to ask about the chips and queso. This little lounge also frequently has seasonal margarita options on the menu, including celebrity curated options too. Nestled next to Tutto Italia Ristorante in Epcot's Italy Pavilion is Tutto Gusto, which nobody knows about. It's a cozy 96-seat wine bar, themed appropriately enough like an Italian wine cellar, complete with stone walls and a fireplace and over 200 bottles of Italian wines on offer. You'll also have a menu featuring small plates perfect for wine pairing. Now, while Rose and Crown might be known for its British dinners, the pub at the front of the restaurant opens way earlier than the main dining room does. Yep, it opens at 10:30 a.m. daily, offering a variety of specialty cocktails, wine and sangria, flights, Scotch whiskey, and of course, beers on tap. Okay, how about the secret ones? Yep, that's right. Not all Epcot lounges and bars are out there in the open. Easy to see when you pass on by. A handful of some of the best drink stops around the World Showcase are hidden within the pavilions. The Japan Pavilion Sake Bar is located upstairs between Teppan-Edo and Shikisai inside the Japan Pavilion, and it sells many of the same sakes and cocktails that the Garden House sells down below, including the ever so popular Violet Sake. If you're unable to climb the stairs to reach it, there is a little elevator tucked away in the corner of this 2-story building that you're more than welcome to use to help you get up to the second floor. Next, if you walk into Wine Keller over in the Germany Pavilion, too quickly, you might think it's just a retail shop selling bottles of wine and chocolates and cookbooks and other German-themed souvenirs. But if you take a closer look, you'll spot a little bar in the back of the shop where you can actually order wine by the glass. Meanwhile, back in the Brass Bazaar, tucked away deep in the Morocco Pavilion, you're going to find the Morocco Snack and Beverage Cart. You'll find both red and white sangria for sale here, but the sangria you'll purchase serves 2, and that means you'll pay 1 price but get 2 cups so you and a friend can go halvesies on it. And since we're already inside the Morocco Pavilion, even if you don't have reservations for Spice Road Table, you can still enter the restaurant and grab a drink to go from the bar tucked inside. Then there's the France Pavilion, which always gives you ample drinking around the world choices, but a pretty underrated spot to grab a drink here is over at Le Vins de France, across from the Lardisson de Glace ice cream shop. At Le Vins, you'll not only find wine you can purchase by the glass or by the bottle to take home with you, but you can also choose from an array of champagnes, including champagne flight options as well. Oh, and speaking of drinks in France, while the Le Vins de Chefs de France outdoor drink kiosk isn't exactly hidden by any means, you can order a secret menu item from here called the Layered Slush, which combines the boozy lemon and orange slushes together to create one Frankenstein-like layered drink made with Grand Marnier, rum, Grey Goose orange vodka, orange juice, and lemonade. Now, despite lounges and bars usually being first come, first served, Epcot's 2 newest lounges are also the 2 hottest ADRs available at the moment. That's advanced dining reservations, folks. First, you've got Geo 82. This is an adults-only lounge situated at the base of Spaceship Earth that serves cocktails and small bites and gorgeous window views across the park. It's also a very intimate lounge with very limited seating, so these reservations book up super quickly. Make sure that you're getting online and ready to claim your spot right when those reservations go live for you, starting at 6 a.m. Eastern online. And sometimes even a little bit earlier than that. Disney sometimes opens those 15 to 20 minutes earlier than expected. The other lounge you need to book just as soon as you can is Space 220. The main Space 220 dining experience takes you on a Stellarator 220 miles above Epcot so you can dine in the Centauri space station. But eating in the main area for lunch and dinner is a real pricey endeavor, since the meals are prix-fixe and will force you to pay either $55 per adult for lunch or $79 per adult for dinner, regardless of what items you select. But you can still dine in the Centauri space station and order from a much more limited, yet much more affordable a la carte menu if you book the lounge seating inside Space 220 instead. If lounge seating books up before you get the chance to claim your spot, don't give up prematurely. Just head over to the restaurant located right around the corner from Mission Space right when it opens and see if you can get your name on a first come, first serve wait list for the bar instead. Along with the main quick services, there are a few Epcot sit-down restaurants that also have to-go windows, like how Crêpes à Emporter operates right outside La Crêperie de Paris. But before you go thinking that these windows are going to serve up the exact same stuff as the table services, only cheaper, well, that can be the case for some items on the menu, but some of these go-to windows also have their own specialty options too that you're not going to find in the main restaurant. So let's take a look and see what other to-go windows we can spot around the park. In the Italy Pavilion, the Via Napoli Pizza place has a go-to window that opens seasonally called Pizza El Taglio. But instead of the typical brick-fired pizza that you're going to find inside the main dining room, Pizza El Taglio serves thick, square Sicilian-style slices. Summerfest might not be directly connected to the Biergarten buffet inside the Germany Pavilion, but this tucked-away window does offer some classic German staple foods for a cheaper price point, like bratwurst, jumbo pretzels, and of course, that tasty pretzel bread pudding. You can get a selection of German beers here, either served in a regular cup or a specialty souvenir Epcot Stein, which is beyond cute if you ask me. And while La Cava del Tequila isn't a restaurant per se, it is an awfully popular drinking spot inside the Mexico Pavilion. So if you'd rather grab one of those handcrafted margaritas on the go rather than put your name on a walk-up wait list and twiddle your thumbs for the next 30-odd minutes, La Cava does have a walk-up window located on the left side of the bar that you can hit up instead. So there's this tradition that Epcot guests like to partake in called drinking around the world, where your goal is to try a different beverage in each Epcot country. Which sounds easy enough until you realize there are 11 countries to conquer. Then it gets a little more intimidating. We've got a full video currently on the DFB channel with tons of good info about what I wish I'd known before drinking around the world in Epcot. But here's a quick list of drinking around the world tips for you to know now if you want the bite-sized version of that. But definitely go watch that video. There's so much info in there. All right, number 1, remember that drinking around the world doesn't just have to include alcoholic beverages. Each pavilion has lots of non-alcoholic specialty options you can always choose from instead, including drinks like the mint iced tea from Oasis Sweets and Sips in Morocco, the fruity flavored Ramune sodas from the Mitsukoshi department store in Japan, the American Dream slush from Fife and Drum in the American Adventure Pavilion, and tons of others. Number 2, stay hydrated. DFB reminding you to stay hydrated is basically the equivalent of another YT video rickrolling you at this point. You brace yourself for the impact, yet it still gets you giggling regardless because of how often this tends to happen. But you guys, I'm never going to give you up. Rick Astley aside, the Florida heat and humidity are no joke, and if you're drinking alcohol, you may not even know you're dehydrated until it's too late. Be sure to keep a water bottle on you to sip on while you're also sipping on your favorite cocktails, and remember that you can also ask for a free water cup at many of the quick services too. Number 3, if you want our top alcoholic/non-alcoholic recommendations in each pavilion, be sure to download our free Drinking Around the World maps, which you can get right now by scanning the QR code on the screen or by heading to disneyfoodblog.com/worlddrinks. Yep, they're free. Go ahead and download them like right now. They're really pretty. You're going to love them. Number 4, if you plan on trying several alcoholic drinks, bring a friend along with you. Not only will a friend help you split drinks so you can pace yourself and save money along the way, but a good friend can always hold you accountable as well. Number 5, you can't take an alcoholic beverage that you purchase in Epcot or any Disney park really outside of the park if you're not finished with it yet. So if you're thinking about leaving the park for whatever reason, you got to finish your boozy beverage before you go. And that's why we always see the chug fest going on at the back of Epcot when people are leaving the World Showcase because they're not allowed to bring their drinks out. And drink responsibly. I know I don't have to remind you about that, but I'm going to regardless because it's important. After you've tried a few spirits, never get behind the wheel of a vehicle and always know your limitations so you can stop when you've had enough. Accomplishing a challenge isn't worth it if you're just going to wind up making yourself sick in the end. So snacks are good and plentiful inside Epcot, but don't for a second think that the only place you need to shop for snacks around the World Showcase is in restaurants or snack-specific locations. Because the World Showcase has tons of packaged snacks for you to pick up that are also hiding out in each pavilion's gift shops. These snacks are exclusive to those countries, and they reflect specialty sweets and savory treats that come from each pavilion's respective location. The beauty of packaged snacks, they may not be made fresh right there in the park, but they're easy to slip inside your park bag to try later on, or to bring back home as a souvenir for a friend or family member who had to stay behind. And this is going to be super unique. It's not just another Mickey bar, right? You're bringing home like a super unique snack that's been imported from another country. It's pretty awesome. Let's say you want to turn your Epcot visit into a date night, or you want to celebrate a huge milestone with a really high quality meal, or you're out with friends and you want to book reservations for a fancy dining restaurant somewhere, just to celebrate the essence of friendship itself. Or maybe it's been a hard year and you really want to treat yourself because you deserve it. Here are some of the best fancy schmancy places to dine inside Epcot if you really want to up the bougie factor for your meal, or you just want to try something a little more unique than what you might have back home. San Angel Inn Restaurante is located inside the Mexico Pavilion and has one of the most stunning restaurant settings thanks to its nighttime market lighting. Views of the Aztec Pyramid, an active volcano off in the distance, as well as the proximity to the Grand Fiesta Tour boat ride make it really unique and special. and very romantic. I'd also say that La Hacienda de San Angel is a solid Mexico pavilion choice, especially if you can book a reservation a little bit before the luminous nighttime fireworks show happens, since several of the tables inside that restaurant are right up next to the window that overlook World Showcase Lagoon, where the fireworks are shot off each evening. Ask your host before you're seated if any window views or fireworks views are available when you arrive, just in case. A longtime favorite Epcot restaurant of mine has always been Le Cellier Steakhouse in the Canada Pavilion. This is where you'll dine in a dimly lit wine cellar setting that's intimate and romantic and well known not just for its steakhouse cuts, but its poutine and Canadian cheddar cheese soup as well. Takumi Te takes signature dining and elevates it even further with a multi-hour, multi-course fine dining experience in the Japan Pavilion that provides authentic Japanese cuisine in a setting where you'll be expected to dress a little nicer than your standard theme park flip-flops and spaghetti straps. Takumi Te is also only available for guests who are at least 8 years old, but preferably older since kids may not be too thrilled to take 3 to 4 hours out of their park evening just to dine on a high-quality meal. And if Takumi Te doesn't work for your group, but classy Japanese cuisine still sounds right up your alley, Shikisai Sushi Izakaya is right upstairs and will be a much more affordable option with lots of a la carte items to choose from in a Japanese setting that changes with the seasons. You might even be able to request sitting at one of the fireworks tables, which doesn't let you see the fireworks in Epcot, but actually has its own fireworks show going on right at the table. Monsieur Paul in the France Pavilion is another high-end restaurant that also follows a dress code and has an age limit for guests 10 and up. But for a meal that's a little more casual, still very French, but also more on the affordable side of things, Chefs de France can be a solid alternative with a great French onion soup you're not going to want to miss. Okay, so Beer Garden isn't exactly a fancy or formal restaurant by any means, but it's still a meal worthy of a big-time celebration. Beer Garden is a theater-style restaurant set inside a cozy little Bavarian village where German performers showcase authentic Oktoberfest numbers throughout the day. Think lederhosen, accordions, dancing, and fun all meal long. The full buffet features classic German dishes, including bratwurst, spätzle, potato salad, and more. Just don't forget to wash it all down with your favorite German beer, which you can buy by the liter. While Spice Road Table in Morocco and Rosencrown in the UK aren't exactly fancy dining experiences either, they do both have fireworks dining packages where you can book a meal and VIP seating for a front row view of the nighttime show. And like I mentioned already, GO82 or Space 220 can also be solid options to book as well, just as long as you're proactive and book them quickly. GO82 also has a new fireworks dining package that you might want to try instead, but this one will be your priciest fireworks option by a long shot, starting at $175 per person. Meanwhile, your most affordable fireworks dining option is Spice Road Table. It's $81 per person, nearly $100 less than what you'll have to pay at GO82, and it's all about the novelty of the newness, folks. Now that you know how to dine, snack, and eat around Epcot, where do we go from here? Well, now it's time to learn about all the different Epcot exclusive snacks from one of our latest DFV videos. Or maybe it's time to learn about the best Disney World restaurants of all time, because we've got a recent video on that too. Wherever your Disney dining journey leads you next, just don't forget to pick up our new free Disney World Snacks Under $10 wallpaper over at disneyfoodblog.com/under10 when you get the chance. Thanks for listening, everyone, and thanks for watching. As always, this is AJ for Disney Food Blog, and we'll see you real soon.